Welcome to another Semen Retention Sunday episode here on this channel. And I want to just give an announcement for this upcoming male and female group session. It is a Q&A session where we'll meet as a group and we'll be able to talk about a variety of different topics, including anything from spiritual awakening to narcissism to how to deal with trauma, PTSD, complex PTSD, etc., dreams, all of the above, really. This is just going to be a time also for you to get to know other people and that you can reach out to other people, because ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a nation. We're trying to build the nation of Israel, and we're trying to build the nation to really bring about change, not just in our own lives, but to help spread awareness to other people and to give that recollection to others that you are not alone, and that sometimes on this journey, though it feels alone, sometimes you don't need to be. And with that being said, the topic for today is how semen retention can make you into a leader of your own right, and how semen retention can also allow you to cast aside the wussy ideologies that you hold. Time and time again, it seems that the longer the people go on the streaks for their semen retention, the people that I've done consultations with, for example, and myself from personal experience, but just along with all the different kinds of people I've been able to communicate with about this topic, they get more of a sense of control over their own life the longer they're able to actually practice this discipline. Because ultimately what this is going to allow you to be a leader in your own right. It's going to allow you to lead your own life. Because let's face it, if you cannot lead your own life, you're going to have a really difficult time leading anybody else to a better life either. And so one of the things that I've learned on my journey of semen retention is how it's actually going to make you into a better leader, because you're able to actually put yourself at your own center. You're able to put yourself at your own, well, how would you say? You're putting yourself in a position to where you are making yourself the priority. And that's not an easy thing to do for a lot of different kinds of people, because when you put yourself as your own priority, you start to realize all of the things that are going wrong or could be going wrong and that are going wrong, and what you need to actually change. Now, what you need to actually change is not always going to be something that you want to do. Sometimes the changes that happen are not necessarily in congruence with our regular behavior patterns, of course, right? But what I also want to touch on is how most people underestimate what is coming in this life. Most people underestimate what is happening in the world, the powers that be, the true essence and the true digestion of everything that's going on is so vast, and it's going to take so much. It's like taking in a gigantic Thanksgiving meal, which I don't promote or condone pagan holidays anymore, but it's like taking in a big Thanksgiving meal made entirely of of all of the doses of reality in each part of life. And you know what happens when you eat a huge meal? You get kind of tired, because obviously your hormones change and all of the levels of your biochemistry change. And because you need to process all this food, your body's like, whoa, you need to sit down. You can't move for a second. Sometimes that's going to be what it's like on the semen retention journey. Sometimes you're going to be taking in so much information and spiritual downloads from God that it's going to be very challenging for you to not look at the source of creation and start doing things, because you're just processing so much that it's hard to actually make certain moves in your life, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional or spiritual, or even just physical. But ultimately, they're all related, and ultimately, these are all going to play a factor in how you operate in your life for the better or for the worst. And so, one thing that I think every man needs to realize is that in your belly, in your belly, there is a fire. You may not feel this fire because it may have kind of gone out a little bit. You can reignite this fire. But this fire is, I would say, resistant to authority that is trying to place certain limits on themselves and himself and the people around him for the sake of tyrannical or unlovable authoritarian motives. Think about this. Think about one of the reasons why in Star Wars, I think just because I'm going to bring in Star Wars, I want to look at the actual methodologies and the, I would say, mechanics and metaphors in Star Wars. Chancellor Palpatine, who is the Darth Sidious, the evil emperor, right? Nobody really knows he's evil until he actually makes it, like he actually has to spell it out to everybody, right? He actually has to spell it out to Anakin, who becomes Darth Vader, that he's actually the evil Sith Lord that the Jedi are searching for, the good guys are searching for. Now, what does Chancellor Palpatine do? He's practicing politics, right? He's a politician. I don't think it's any coincidence that Palpatine, the Sith Lord, the evil villain, represents a political figure. I think politics are some of the, like, if you are to become a politician, it's some of the most disgusting things that you could ever do in your life, I think, is to become a politician. I don't like politics in any way, shape, or form. Again, I'm of the advocate that if we all practice God's laws and God's commandments, there would be no need for government. And I genuinely believe that. But we don't live in that kind of world. So we obviously have to have some kind of form of discretion, and we obviously have to have some kind of form of government in one way, shape, or form or another. The problem is, when it comes to certain politicians, and I'm not speaking about any politician directly, but politicians get drunk with power. And even when, and I'm not saying that power is a bad thing. Like, I'm interested in power. I'm interested in influence, though, more than anything else. I'm interested in influence. Power and status and money are byproducts of influence. Influence is, I think, the main course. It's the main cause and effect of those other three things. But what Palpatine, what the evil Sith Lord does and is, what he represents is that tyrannical force that he even says, I am the Senate, to these Jedi when they come to arrest him, right, in Revenge of the Sith. And the reason that I'm using this as an analogy and as a metaphor and as a method for describing how semen retention can make you into a leader, it's that semen retention, you are naturally going to be practicing God's laws that allow you to not get drunk with power, that allow you to be like organized chaos and be the manifestation of destiny itself. I think I'm going to put that as the title, actually, in this video as well. I think that's a cool title. You will be the manifestation of destiny in your own right because you're retaining your energy. Think about this. When you have little to no resources, how are you going to be able to accomplish things or do things? You're not going to be able to. And there actually have been studies in different kinds of religions and other kinds of psychological studies where it seems as though people that practice semen retention have better quality mental capabilities. It's not necessarily a scientific fact, and I wish there were more studies on semen retention, but I am experienced enough with semen retention to say that, and to claim as well, that semen retention does in fact provide this benefit. And I genuinely think that it's because when you're holding in your semen, you're holding in a certain amount of testosterone. You're not just releasing your energy everywhere. You're actually healing certain neurons in the brain. You're actually healing certain other brain patterns. And it's not just because you're holding in like your seed. Like, yes, that's a factor, of course. But it's also the fact that you're changing your behavior. That's the biggest thing. And if you are strong enough to change your own behavior, that's where you will become the leader in your own right. That's when you will be able to manifest your own destiny. Because when you are able to be a leader in your own right, by having certain extra resources, by having a certain kind of abundance in your mentality, you're naturally going to be drawing in certain things. And I've gotten to the point to where it's like, specifically with women, I'm able to walk into a room and I know that if I really wanted to, I could attract any kind of woman in that room. If I really wanted to, I could, as a skill, improve attraction and increase attraction via just talking to these women. It's about my personality. It's about my vibe. It's about doing and speaking in a way that not only attracts women, but it also just provides a certain kind of stability, emotional stability, and also a safety and protection that I can give off that vibe. And I can if I want to, but I don't really want to with every single person I come into contact with or every single woman I come into contact with. Like, I just don't have that time or energy, right? I have to conserve certain amounts of energy, and I have to be like an overflowing cup, but not to the point to where I'm just letting everything out and letting everything go. So it's gotten to the point for me to where I know for a fact that because I'm leading my own life in a way that is not only improving my financial stability, not only improving my physical stability, not only improving my emotional stability, not only improving my spiritual ability and stability, but also just overall holistically, my life is improving more and more each day. And it's not necessarily something to focus on as far as the semen retention. It's not like I give all credit to semen retention only, but it is God's greatest gift, I do believe, to give us this opportunity for semen retention. And semen retention is similar to a woman holding, like not opening her legs to everybody, and also just remaining celibate as well. I think the real term you could use is just celibacy. And celibacy is going to be, I genuinely believe, it's going to put you on a track to realize your full potential and to manifest your own destiny. Because it's almost like, think about this. It's like when you're always just giving out your seed to whoever or whatever, and you're just, if you're watching corn or doing PMO and you're just letting it go, you're just letting this energy release. When you watch that kind of stuff, what are you really doing? You're actually giving spiritual energy to those people that you're watching. You're actually giving attention to those people. So what you're doing is you're making them more powerful. You're giving them the opportunity to have influence. And guess what? There would be no corn industry if everybody just stopped watching it. Imagine that. Imagine if somebody actually just said to themselves, and all of the somebodies around the world said to themselves, I'm just not going to watch corn anymore. And they actually just made a decision. And God gave us this amazing ability to just make a decision. We can do that. We can just make a decision. Now, obviously, I'm more realistic and I'm not going to suspect everybody to do that. But imagine if everybody did do that. There would be no corn industry. There would be no allegations of promiscuity. There would be no, not even allegations, but allegations, but there would be no follow through with promiscuity. There would be no inconsiderate and disgusting forms of I don't want to say, I don't know what I can and can't say on YouTube anymore, really. But anyway, just perverts, really. Perverts. We'll leave it at that. There would be no more perverts if people just stopped watching corn. But obviously, there's people in the world that are just not going to stop. They're just not going to stop. They don't want to stop. But all of those that are struggling, and I don't really like the word struggling, but let's say challenging, like they're being challenged with this trial. If you're being challenged with watching PMO and you're able to make the decision to stop, or at least to want to stop and to wane down on your watching, then look, you're trying to actually take control of your own life. And that's just the first step of becoming the leader in your own right, is to actually make decisions that benefit your life. Because guess what? As a man, if you put yourself first and you make yourself the primary focal point of origin, if you are going to watch what you do and how you do it and take responsibility for your actions to improve your life and put yourself first, automatically, no matter what, you will automatically, by definition, make the lives around you so much better as well. Like, you're just going to be this overflowing cup of positivity. This is something else I've noticed with semen retention, is you get this immense kind of positivity just shining forth from your being. It's a very beautiful thing to see, and it's a very beautiful thing to feel as well. Like, it's almost like the lights get brighter, the colors are brighter, and when you're actually in the sunshine, when the sun is shining, it's been kind of raining for the past couple of days here, but when the sun is shining, wow, when the light hits your skin and you can feel that warmth, there's just something about that feeling of nature that makes you so much more at home in your heart. And ultimately, that's going to be what the goal of semen retention is to allow you to be more holistic and to feel at home in your own skin. Because guess what? That's really the only home that you truly have. The only home that you truly have is in your body. We may think that we have things outside of us, material possessions, but not really. Like, what we really have is this body. But I'm not saying be attached to the body either. I'm not saying be attached to the flesh. Because even though all we really have is the body, that is the vehicle for our soul. That is the vehicle for our spirit. And so, likewise, the soul and the spirit cannot even thrive without the body, and the body cannot thrive without the soul and the spirit. People don't realize that fire in your belly as men, that resistance to tyranny, that resistance to evil, and the wanting to fight for good, that's in all of us, men. And society has tried to stamp it out. They've tried to put that fire out in all of us. And believe me, I know that my fire, I thought my fire was burnt out at some point, but I was able to reignite it. I was able to light it once more. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, and it took a lot of firewood to get there. But man, that beacon is lit now, and it feels good. It feels good to be a leader of your own life. It feels good to put yourself first and to have assertiveness. It feels good to be able to focus on yourself. It feels good to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and see that this is the kind of person that you always knew you were meant to be. This is the person that you were born to be. And you're growing closer to God each day. And I hope that happens for every single person out there, whether you're male or female practicing celibacy. I guarantee you, celibacy, semen retention, it's going to change your life. And it's going to make you manifest destiny. Absolutely 100%. So with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.